All right. Get ready to be inspired by the innovative world of ESG with Hind Salhane. What does ESG actually stand for? And why do you need to take it into account as an entrepreneur or a manager? As head of ESG at GraydonCreditsafe, Hind is crafting a whole new strategy for corporate responsibility and for sustainability. She will share with us some key trends, facts and figures also demonstrating how doing good actually leads to business success. She will explain concepts like cathedral thinking and ecosystem sustainability, exploring the most efficient way to create a lasting impact as a business. Join Hind as she unveils how businesses can contribute to a better future. Hind Salhane.
Good afternoon, everyone. Wow, this feels really special to do this today on the holy grounds of Tomorrowland. I feel so incredibly happy and honored to be here today, standing before such a great audience filled with so many individuals, all dedicated to shaping a brighter and better future. While saying this, I have goosebumps, because your presence here today speaks volumes about your commitment to shaping a better world. It speaks volumes about your dedication to innovation, business sustainability, and progress. While I was preparing my keynote for today, a couple of weeks ago, I was reminded of attending one of my first keynotes ever. It left a lasting impression on me. Not because the concept of a keynote itself is very powerful, because it's a way to share ideas, inspire others, spark meaningful conversations. What made that particular keynote really special to me was the introduction to a concept I didn't know back then. The concept of cathedral thinking. I'm not sure what slide you're seeing. The cathedral. Great. So I'm not sure if everyone is familiar with the concept of cathedral thinking, so let me explain it a bit. This idea embodies vision, selflessness, and long-term thinking. Now imagine yourself a builder or a mason or an architect in the 13th century working on a grand cathedral. You understand that you work on a project, but you might never witness the completion of this magnificent structure. That's what cathedral thinking is about. These people put their heart and soul into projects, knowing they would not witness the completion. They transcended their own lifetimes and considered the far-reaching impacts of their actions today. So this keynote speaker wanted to inspire us to become more like these architects back then, to become more selfless, to think about the future we can imagine but might never experience ourselves. It's about planting the seeds for the trees under whose shade we may never sit. It's beautiful. Well, I was impressed by this idea. But I can see some people thinking, beautiful idea, Hind, but we have short-term goals. We have quarterly reports. We have immediate things to be done, short-term goals, and so on and so on. We have a P&L. We have bills to pay. And that's what I thought too. So it's a natural concern, because we live in a world where we have a lot of pressure around us. We need to deliver now. But what if I told you that these two seemingly opposing forces, immediate and lasting success, actually feed each other? And I will do that by referring to a very hot topic today. It's a concept that illustrates the balance between these two and the interconnectedness between these two very good. I'm talking about ESG. And I see some smiles on your faces because, let's admit, we've been slapped in the face so many times with this term. It might seem overwhelming, but once you grasp the simplicity of ESG and the true benefits and advantages behind it, this can and will be your most strategic business ally. And let me break it down to you. Let's start with the G for good governance. I'm not talking about the compliance definition or the Green Deal definition or CSRD, just our common sense. What is the G for governance or good governance about? Well, actually, it is about managing your business so effectively that you build long-term relationships with your clients. It's about building strong, long-term relationships with your customers, because that's crucial for your economic stability. And to do that, you need to build trust with your customers. And that is strongly linked to a concept we know in reporting and finance, portfolio return. It's the frequency of repeat purchases by your clients. That reflects the trust they put in your business. No wonder M&A professionals do a deep dive on this one when they want to value your company, because it says something about the historical financial performance of your company and the potential future performances of your company. So to guarantee trust with your customers, you need to uphold three important things: transparency, accountability, and ethical management. So if you put it like that, whistleblowers become crucial because they expose risks related to these three things. This is just one small piece of good governance. Now, if we break it down like that, good governance is not just a compliance box to tick. It is important for your company's very existence. Now, let's move on to the next one, the S for social, and more specifically, human capital. And I want to talk about diversity today. And please, let's not talk about quota. Let's talk about the value of integrating different perspectives in your company. The value of having different talents, strengths, backgrounds, and so on in your company. And if we look at the tech scene, well, that's the best business case you have for diversity. They bundle all these diverse teams, diverse people, diverse backgrounds together and have a better problem solving, better decision making. They build products that appeal to a wide audience because of the diversity. So if we put it like that, again, diversity, which is, by the way, not only age or race or sex, it's a lot more than that. It's not just a moral choice. It's a strategic advantage in your business. And on top of that, I would like to highlight that we published a very nice study on gender diversity, where we showed that companies with a good gender diversity actually make more profits and have less burnout. Now, enough about the S for social. Let's move on to the last one, the E, environment. And it's on purpose that I put this one as the last one. Why? Because I personally think that the ESG discussion is always dominated by the E, and it's way more than that. It's not only about driving electrical vehicles, having solar panels, and so on. So, the E, if we consider climate change, I think no one here will say that there is nothing changing or that there's nothing wrong with the planet. We all want to do something because we love nature, we thrive in nature, we want to preserve this for the next generations to come. But can we also speak about the advantages that we have as companies when we embed sustainability practices in our company? For instance, and these are real-life examples, companies who have a very conscious waste management system or energy management system or water management system, they actually operate more effectively, and this often leads to cost reduction. Plus, they mitigate a lot of risks related to this, which is also a major thing in the insurance scene. So again, as Forbes said in an article, saving our planet is surprisingly affordable. The real expense lies in inaction. Now that we've broken it down, and I gave you some real examples because of course, we did not touch everything under this big topic. But now that we've broken it down, I think we can all conclude that ESG, environment, social governance, is not just about compliance. It's not just a moral choice. It is a strategic advantage for your company with tangible benefits today and tomorrow. So, if we talk about tangible benefits for your company today, what would that be? I will name some. You will enhance your market positioning because, yes, we live in a world where this is really high on the agenda. You become more attractive to banks and investors. You become more appealing for new talent for your company. And so on and so on. So these tangible benefits, they are here today. Now, to fully benefit from these tangible benefits, one must measure how ESG fit their company is, how their ESG performances are. And equally important is to assess how ESG fit their ecosystem is. And I'm talking about the clients, suppliers, stakeholders, everyone with whom you have a business relationship. Because the ESG fitness of your business relationships says something about your sustainability. Now, how do we measure that? Might seem difficult, especially for your business relations. Well, there are two main ways. There is a survey-based way, where you interview your business relation, you ask them how they do on E or S or G, what policies they might have in place. And there is the data-driven way, where you just use data-driven insights that are only based on data, objective points, and they give you clear insights on how your company or this business relationship scores on these aspects. Well, I'm so proud. I'm the head of ESG at GraydonCreditsafe, where I see that a lot of our customers, they embed this data-driven ESG strategy into their core business and core operations, because that way, they not only build resilient brands today, but they also build a better future for the generations to come. So yes, together we can be the architects who can build the cathedrals that will stand tall for generations to come. My name is Hind Salhane from GraydonCreditsafe, and I hope I just gave you the key to unlock your path to greater sustainability with immediate and lasting success. Let's dream of tomorrow, but act today. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much, Hind. And please take a seat. Thank you for your enlightening plea. May I ask you a few questions?
Yes.
Can you maybe provide us with some examples of businesses that have successfully integrated ESG practices to achieve both financial success and social impact?
Well, there are so many brands and companies who do that. I can name you one. For example, Patagonia is a brand that I like personally. You see that embedding sustainability into their business operations.
What are they doing, Patagonia?
Well, not only reducing their climate footprints, but also creating a lot of awareness around it. And that's really important as well. And that makes people attracted to the brand, and they're willing to pay a little bit more for a product that really resonates deeply with them.
Okay.
And you have a lot of companies in Belgium as well like that, who embed it in their strategy and their day-to-day operations. And like I said earlier during my keynote, it leads to cost efficiency when they do investments when it comes to environmental aspects. So it always leads to tangible benefits today and also the years to come.
In the future. Now, you mentioned it during your keynote, but I wonder if you can elaborate a little bit more on the aspect that how do we change the mindset in order to get to cathedral thinking? Because today, more than ever, my impression is that companies and individuals alike are looking for immediate results and immediate satisfaction. So how do you change that mindset in companies?
Of course, you have legislation that always helps to push ideas like now, the Green Deal with the CSRD and the CSDDD. But what I think is most effective and has the most impact are things like Love Tomorrow, where you spread awareness, where you try to touch people in their hearts to be truly convinced to do something. Because becoming sustainable, because you have to comply with a law, is always not as cool as doing it because you really believe that it leads to benefits today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
So creating awareness for me is number one.
How does GraydonCreditsafe ensure the objectivity and the transparency of its ESG scores to mitigate concerns about greenwashing?
Well, at GraydonCreditsafe, providing data-driven insights is what we do. We do that for more than 100 years. It's what we do for credit risk scores. It's what we do now for ESG scores as well. It's 100% data-driven. So that means that we have more than 180 data points, objective data points, who will give us a conclusion on the E for environment, a conclusion on the S for social, and a conclusion on the G for governance. And this is a combination of publicly available data and also non-publicly available data. But what we do is always 100% data-driven. We will never ask a company, well, how is your credit risk or how ESG friendly are you? It's always data based on data.
And does every company that you want to score, is every company able to provide you with that data, solid data?
Well, it's not that they provide us with the data, we get the data. For instance, I'm giving you one little example of one data point. Within the S, gender diversity is an important one. For instance, gender is something we can get out of the social balance sheet. So that's something we get from there. And also important to mention, we only score companies who have an obligation to provide a balance sheet. So that's our minimum standards.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much, Hind, for explaining all that to to us, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you
today
for
at Love
having
Tomorrow.
me. Thank you all.
Thank you.